Hey there, friend. It's Sarah here with Brown Family Goods. I thought I would share a day with you, and this was a Monday. It was a bit of a slow day of housework and chores here, and I started off slowly by canning up some cranberry sauce. I love cranberry sauce. Whole berry sauce is usually my favorite, and if you haven't made this before, you should definitely give it a try. The flavor is so much better made homemade than store-bought or from a can. This is just a simple and basic recipe. I use the Ball Canning Book recipe that you saw at the beginning because it's a perfect recipe. It's very few ingredients and it's easy to make. So I like to make a double batch when the cranberries are in season, and that time is right now. You won't find cranberries at your grocery store all year round, not fresh at least. So whenever I do find them in the store, I always buy up gobs and gobs of bags, and I just put them straight into the freezer until I'm ready to make something with them. The best thing about when cranberries are in season is that you can get them for $1 or $1.50 a bag. So they're very, very affordable. And this is something that I make because number one, I love cranberry sauce myself, and I like to have it with several different meals, but also I make this for the farmer's market. I try to have a few seasonal things, and cranberry sauce is always great this time of year. Anyway, I was really moving kind of slowly on this day because I was feeling a little bit down. Recently, one of our dogs, Maverick, passed away very suddenly, and on this day in particular, I was just sad and missing him. So I wanted to find a task to take my mind off of things, and something to keep my hands busy is always really helpful. Maverick was our 5-year-old Great Dane. He was the gray one, kind of a dark gray. He was in one of my recent videos actually, drinking water at the bowl, of course. He passed away one night from a medical emergency, and when I tell you that we have missed him since he's been gone, that would be such an understatement. He was really such a joy, and he brought so much life to our home, and our other dogs have really missed him too. So I hope you'll watch this video until the end to see some pictures and videos of Maverick and his life. Anyway, after I finished canning the cranberry sauce, I had a few things from the garden that I needed to get washed up. Earlier in the morning on this day, I went out to piddle around the garden, and I harvested those little tiny yellow bell peppers that you see, as well as a bunch of greens, all that I could get out of my garden at the time. So my bell pepper plant is still growing pretty well, but all the peppers that are coming off it at this point in the year are pretty small, so I'm glad to get anything that I can get though. In the greens, there is a mix of turnip greens, collards, and a few mustard greens there. So just wanted to wash these up and take out that tough vein in the middle so that they would be all ready to cook when I'm ready for them. Once I wash them, I just lay them out on a towel to dry some, and then I will bag them up. All of those vein pieces, the chickens and other birds will be really glad to get. I do want them to dry on this towel for a little while. They don't have to be perfectly dry when you put them into the refrigerator, just you don't want them to be drenched in water still. You can see how small those little peppers are. So this is a 2-gallon Ziploc bag, and I just line it with a little bit of paper towel. That way the water doesn't sit directly against the surface of the bag, because that will cause those greens to really wilt. So I just bag them up, and they stay perfectly fresh in this for at least a week. You may even be able to get longer. So I have a recipe in mind for these. I just want to cook down the whole big pot of greens at some point. So I'll just store them in the refrigerator in this bag until I'm ready for them, and they will wait. That's totally fine. They actually stay really nice and fresh and crisp in the bag, just like this. I just take out as much of the air as I can, and then I'll put them straight in the fridge. Well, my next task here is just to water my houseplants inside. I usually do this about once a week, and typically it is on a Monday as well, because that's just when I have the most free time. My weeks, unlike most people, are usually busiest on the weekend. So since we do the farmers market every Saturday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday are always spent either preparing for the farmers market or at the farmers market. So usually Monday and Tuesday are my days where I can kind of get done all the things that I feel like doing throughout the house, around the garden, around the homestead, and with the birds. That's when I have the most free time. So things like watering and cleaning and all of that almost always take place for me early in the week. I'm just watering and picking off a few dead things. Now next up here, I am popping out to the little greenhouse, and I need to get some things moved inside of it at this point. Alan recently finished this little greenhouse, and I have not been able to do much with it until now. The days have still been pretty warm, but I wanted to move some of my more tropical things into there so that they'll be fine when we do have cold nights. And I'm always trying to protect things from being eaten by geese that walk around the property. So this helps with that too. And there's a rogue chicken as well. We're at the point in the year where the temperatures are so up and down. Some days it's still over 80 degrees here, well over 80 degrees here, but other days it'll be 50 or 60 degrees, and then we have cool nights as well, so it's very confusing at this point. And you can see that I always have a lot of help whenever I'm outside doing things. The dogs are almost always around anytime I'm doing anything outdoors. This day is no exception. And I have a few goals in my little greenhouse for this year. So obviously I'm going to use it to protect my cold sensitive plants that are in pots. Anything that I can move inside off of our porch and deck, I will just put it in here and overwinter it here instead of having to bring it in the house or try to keep it covered outside. So the pot that I'm bringing in now is a big pot, of course, but it's a papaya tree, and it's started this year. I have another couple of those that I'll bring in over the next few days. That one that I just moved is a shampoo ginger plant. So these are more tropical things that need to be indoors when it starts to get cooler outside. But I also want to use this extra pot space to grow some things inside of the greenhouse, like lettuces and maybe some herbs I'm going to try as well this year. So this is the first year that I've had a little greenhouse, and I'm really, really excited to start to use it and get to know how things work over winter in there.
I'm excited about this. Now that I have like the first plants in here, I'm like, ooh, I can hang them, and I can this, I can that. This actually feels really exciting to have this greenhouse now. I'm super happy. Yeah. Because it's going to be so beautiful this winter to have just a little space, you know? Just a little space that's green. So that's really fun. Okay, I've moved 2 plants in officially, and I'm already pumped about it. So that's good.
And here I just wanted to show you, I've got these planters that are up on my porch. Everything has croaked in there at this point, but I'm going to move those into the little greenhouse as well, and those will be perfect for growing lettuces and things. So anyway, I just want to get this stuff watered in now, and I wanted to say thank you so much for being here. So I know this was a little bit different style of video that I did today, but I hope you've enjoyed it. It's nice to just spend the day together and hang out. So I hope you'll watch now a few clips of Maverick and his life here with us.